The pups were heading back from a failed mission. A very failed mission. All 6 vehicles were swerving, each pup unable to focus on the road. No one in Adventure Bay would be able to ponder what had just happened. Marshall was bringing in the bad news in the back of his EMT-converted truck. Chase was leading the escort, then Marshall and the other pups trailed behind. They were at a slow pace, which really signaled the depression. Everyone in Adventure Bay knew something was wrong when none of the pups stopped by to say hi. They knew something was worse when they realized all 6 pups were deployed, but Ryder wasn't leading on his ATV. Ryder wasn't there at all. The 6 vehicles pulled up to the lookout in silence. Marshall gradually got out of his truck and opened up the doors in the back of the ambulance. "I can't handle the sight," Sky said. This can't be," Chase said. In the back of Marshall's ambulance sat Ryder's body. Motionless, lifeless. The pups weren't going to be able to survive or live on without him. None of them wanted to. Marshall put his paw on Ryder's face. There was no body heat being generated. It was inevitable. All the pups collapsed and broke down. "I always thought he was a modal," Zuma mourned. "It's not right. He didn't deserve this. Why couldn't it have been me?" Ryder had fell to his death. None of the pups could have done anything to help him. The pups worked together to pull Ryder's body out of the ambulance. Once they laid him down, they all gathered around his body to mourn and mourn. They knew their lives were imminently going to end with his. Hours passed, and each pup had fallen asleep from exhaustion from crying too much. It was morning when they had woken up again to Ryder's body. They mourned for an hour longer, then figured they had to go show Adventure Bay what had happened. They worked together to put Ryder's body back into the ambulance, then formed a formation going into Adventure Bay as a sign of respect. Chase led Marshall, who had Rocky and Rubble on each side, tailed by Zuma and Sky. They each had their emergency lights on, however, were going slow. The people in Adventure Bay saw this and, not seeing Ryder, they knew something was seriously wrong. Katie knew what was wrong, and followed the pups, who came to a stop in front of Town Hall. Mayor Goodway came out of the building unaware of what was going on. "Hey Paw Patrol. Why are you all sad?" Marshall opened up the rear doors on the ambulance and showed her and Katie Ryder's body. They were both in complete shock. Mayor Goodway's good day turned around. There were a few citizens to witness, then a few turned into a bunch, then a bunch turned into everyone in Adventure Bay gathered around to see Ryder deceased with their own eyes. "He fell to his death," Chase said. "There was nothing we could have done," Rocky said. Captain Turbot, also having a good day, pulled into the dock to see everyone gathered at Town Hall. From the distance, it looked like a party. "Adventure Bay is having a party without me. This town will no longer be turbotless." Captain Turbot docked his boat and hurried over. "Adventure Bay can't have a party without Captain Turbot." A lot of people thought Captain Turbot was being disrespectful, but the pups knew he had no clue what was going on. "Captain Turbot, it's not what you think," Zuma said. Captain Turbot started to realize something was really wrong. Zuma escorted him to the ambulance. Captain Turbot realized this was the opposite of a party. He had no idea how to react when he saw Ryder's body. His good day was also turned bad. A day passed, and Ryder's funeral was arranged. Marshall pulled up with the casket with Ryder's body in the back of his ambulance. The funeral formation pulled up to the cemetery and the pups got out, and got in the lookout formation while Jake and Captain Turbot pulled the casket out of the ambulance. The pups tried to hold in their tears as well as they could as the ceremony was going on. Sky couldn't hold it in. She broke down and Rocky was there to comfort her. Sky crying caused Marshall, Rubble, and Zuma to break down as well. Chase was used to holding back tears, so he was able to stay in formation. With assistance from Mr. Porter and Mayor Goodway, along with Alex and Katie earning a place, all carried Ryder's casket to the grave. The pups got into the formation that they would be in when they're in the Paw Patroller. Zuma, Rubble, and Sky on one side, and Rocky, Chase, and Marshall on the other. When everyone was sat down, no one expected Mayor Humdinger to show up. Everyone looked back when he walked in. I heard the boy had died, and I just thought I'd come by and pay my respects. The service for Ryder lasted a long time. Everyone wanted to pay their respects and share stories about when the Paw Patrol had rescued them. Mayor Humdinger even came up. No one really had respect for him. As most of you know, I'm a big rival to Adventure Bay and the Paw Patrol. There's been many times where I have been frustrated from the Paw Patrol ruining my plans. There was some burning hate, but I never would have wished this on the poor boy. Since I never got to say this to you personally, kid, I'll say it now. I'm, sorry for what I have done. Rest well, Ryder. Mayor Humdinger sat back down in the back. The time to lower Ryder into the ground came. Each pup sat in resentment. Not even Chase could hold back the tears when he was lowered down. The service ended, and everyone but the 6 pups left his grave. Before the dirt was filled in, each pup set their pup tags on top of Ryder's casket. They spent that night next to the grave. The next morning, Mayor Goodway had to bring the news to the pups. I'm afraid that without the supervision of Ryder, you can't stay at the lookout on your own. Please, Mayor Goodway. Let us stay. We won't cause trouble. If it was up to me, you could. But the law says you have to go to a foster home. No. Don't make us go. I don't have a choice. I want you to stay. Mayor Goodway walked the pups to the guy who would be taking care of them. This is Joey, he loves dogs. He'll take good care of you. The pups looked at Joey. He looked nice. This is the hardest part of my job. I never want to take a couple of pups away from their home. I don't have a choice, though. I promise, from the bottom of my heart, I will take good care of you pups until you're old enough to be on your own and come back. None of the pups wanted to go. They were given the opportunity to go to the lookout and grab what they wanted. They were promised the lookout and all their trucks would be there. None of the pups wanted to live on without Ryder, however. Each pup packed into Joey's Suburban and they were off to a larger city about an hour away.